Alright, split one of these in half. This is called a vivisection. For all the folks out there who don't know what that is. Vivisection, where you just score it down the middle so we can get a pretty good view of the inside of the fungi. That way we can, go for a positive identification. I'm kind of torn between what this might be. I'm thinking it's a ringless honey mushroom. But as you can see here, there's no other discoloration in here. And this can be confused with basically, well, I'm in Missouri, the Ozarks. We do have listed and undocumented types of fungi of this manner, but because there's so many varieties of, if you look underneath here, it's gilled, so it's going to be something called a garricus. And there's hundreds of those, probably more than that. But as far as locally here that I'm familiar with, I'm assuming there's one of these called a big laughing gem. There's about two other ones. Like I said, when they're in the smaller, and they're in the budding stage. This is not quite the pinning stage, but the coloration is what you're looking for. Any rings? See, rings? Any rings on here? Because that could be what they call a big laughing gem. That thing is, well, toxic, poisonous, however you want to say it, deadly. Depends on how much you eat and what you're capable of, your fortitude is, kind of when it comes to fungi. So as you can see here, this is the rhizome and the base of it. See all the little spikes? There was 4 of them grown in a cluster. So now we have, this is the bottom, and here's the back side, so we can get a better look at the stem. It's kind of tanning a little bit. It's got a little bit of these, looks like a little scaly, but it's tan on top, white on the inside. I tasted one of these. It tastes nutty. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like I want to say like a cashew. I found it grown at the base of a conifer tree called a juniper or red cedar. And like I said, as you can see here, we'll get a better look at the vivisection here. Not really nothing to write home about. It looks pretty normal. Solid all the way through. It's not squishy. It's nothing too out of the ordinary or abnormal to me as far as a mushroom goes. Looks pretty normal, but all the ones that I see that could be toxic or poisonous usually have some kind of weird discoloration inside. But this could be confused with a big laughing gem or maybe even a gallerina. So some of these in their younger stage or infancy, basically, before they get to the pinning stage, which is where you can identify what type of fungi this is. Some of them you can eat when they're young, but when you start getting them when they're starting to sporulate, they start dripping stuff. The chemical composition can change. So, like I said, it just depends on your tolerance and when you get them. Some of these are poisonous and toxic, so I keep thinking this might be a laughing gem, though. So going, no. It looks like a ringless honey mushroom, actually. But I ate some yesterday in a stew. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel anything. Actually, I ate 2 varieties of fungi yesterday. I ate the shaggy mane, and I had about 5 or 6 of these, the bigger ones, cut up. But this doesn't actually look like the one that I've seen over here in front of this tree. But even though this might actually be a different species than what I ate on the tree. So it does kind of have an orange hue to it. So you have to be kind of concerned about some of that when you pay attention to descriptions and colors. But this might not even be anywhere near a pinning stage, so I'm saying I'm going to have to take it with caution. But there was some other fungi just over here growing that looks a little bit different than this, actually. So what's kind of weird is like, wait a minute. Those might not even be the same ones. So you have two species growing next to each other. So let's go take a look real quick. Okay, as you can see here, here's what's left of these over here. And I did eat some of these. And if it's poisonous, hey, I lucked out. But, yeah, no, that's probably not very smart what I did, because I didn't positively identify these. But I don't think some of the early explorers in mycologists probably did either. They're tasting these. They're not actually eating them. They're tasting these and experimenting with them and, you know, trying to figure out if they're toxic or not. And a lot of the guys that did this didn't do what they recommended. But after their bad experiences, I'm sure they did. They said that the big laughing gem is hallucinogenic, but most of the time it says it's mostly toxic. So that's probably what's going on. But depends on where you get them from. This is what's left of the ones that I ate the other day from over here. The soil has dried up. The soil has dried up, so you can't really... Oh, God. Soil's dried up, so you can't really tell what they are anymore. Except for his little budulas. But, yeah, there's one over here I stepped on. So... I ate a whole bunch of these, so I didn't have a problem with it. They taste nutty, kind of like a cashew, or I want to say a pistachio, actually. They didn't taste bitter or anything. I thought the flavor was rather enjoyable, but, you know, I'm like that. So let's go back over here and get one more shot of this and see, hey, why doesn't it look like that one over there? They might be different fungi altogether, so that's what I'm saying. Even though they're growing next to each other, they might not even be the same ones. This might actually be a different species. Okay, as you can tell, here's the other little one I added. See, they don't quite look... Well, kind of does. But yes, I did eat these in a stew. I boiled it in my stowaway pot over there. I have an alpine stowaway pot. I made a campfire, added a whole bunch of other veggies to it and stuff, and then I even added another variety of shrooms to it, ate it. I didn't have any adverse reactions or side effects or anything, and I did eat the shrooms. So, even though I don't know what these are, when they were a little bit smaller, about like that, I ate them. Probably foolish. Don't recommend it, but I live to tell the tale. So let's figure out what these are. As you can see here, we do have gills, so it's some type of an agaricus. Here's what it looks like sideways. Okay, I did split one in half, as you can see here. It's not leaking, it's not milking, it's not lactating, you know, like some of the, I thought it was a voluminous lactarius. It wasn't that. Or lactating. You know, there's several of them we have here in Missouri. It's pretty stout. I'm thinking it's a ringless honey mushroom, to be quite honest with you. Usually the laughing gem has a ring on it. It's an annoying looking orange, and the honey mushroom itself actually has a little bit of orange on it. I'm just going to assume this is a ringless honey mushroom. Okay, that would be my best guess for what information that I have available. So, like I said, always positively identify fungi. I did something very risky and stupid, but because of my prior knowledge of fungi, I made it. I'm still here to tell the tale. So I'm going to assume this is some kind of ringless honey mushroom. Maybe. That's the best conclusion I could come up to. So I'm going to do some more research and go back through my documentation stuff I got and see if I can figure out what it is. That's my best bet. That's all I can do.